Shane Hewitt.
I am excited to introduce you to, they say kind of, I don't know, like multi-talented and all these things, right? Triple threat people. I don't know. Lainey, are you a good dancer? Do you like to dance?
I can shake a leg.
Shake a
I
leg.
can I can get down.
I
I can
like it.
get down.
Lainey Wilson is here, country performer, singer, and actor as well, doing all the acting things. Now, if you don't know Lainey's music, you might recognize her face, especially if you watch Yellowstone and all of these different things sort of crossing over. Lainey, because, and I blame you, you do so many things.
Oh my gosh, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. We can
Well,
we can start from the beginning. I can
yeah,
talk
no
your
kidding.
ears off.
I love it. So but you are on the road right now, and
Yes.
you finished doing all kinds of solo shows, and plus Luke Combs' show, and all those other ones, which must be amazing. The sort of the juxtaposition of going from Commonwealth Stadium and all of this gigantic everything to getting into the more intimate shows that you do when you just do some of the ones by yourself. So what's that like for you?
It keeps it really interesting for me and my team. Of course, I'm nervous either way. I could be playing for 20 people. I could be playing for 20,000, 40,000, 50,000. It does not matter. I guess I care about it so much. I can't help but be a little anxious and excited. But for me, I have a 35-minute slot when I'm playing with Luke, and I have to get up there and I got to get the crowd going, get them ready for him, make them want to drink a beer. And for my shows, I feel like I really get to take my time and get to know the audience and have the audience get to know me too. I don't know which one would be my favorite because they all serve different purposes. I love it all, but it's crazy to think that I am up in Canada playing country music. I mean, I'm from a town of 200 people in Northeast Louisiana, so this is wild, and it just keeps getting wilder every single day.
It is kind of wild where you've gone and where this has taken you. I think that your story is kind of that classic overnight success that took 10 years, right? Of
Oh
hard
my
work,
gosh,
right?
for sure, for
So
sure.
how did this all get started? Because you have expanded into, I guess it's probably just safe to say performing, and being out there. So how did this all get going for you?
I wrote my first song at 9 years old, and I brought it to my mama, and I was like, I just wrote a song. And she said, what in the world? And it just seemed like it just kept happening. The next week, I brought her another one. And then at 11 years old, my daddy showed me a few chords on the guitar, and truly songwriting became one of those things that it just chose me. I felt like I had no other option but to do it. I mean, where I'm from and the town that I grew up in, it's a little town called Baskin. And country music is a way of life. It's not a genre. We lived out those words to those songs. And I loved it so much. So I knew at a very early age, even at 9 years old, when I was writing my first song, that I was going to tell stories the rest of my life. I knew that I was going to be in Nashville. I knew that I was going to be a part of the music business. I didn't know how in the world I was going to get there. But growing up, I did anything you could imagine to make my way to Nashville, whether it was honky tonk talent searches, country Colgate showdowns. I impersonated Hannah Montana. I did that for 5 years.
Really, eh?
Yes, I would open up the shows as myself, and then I'd go backstage and throw on a wig, and I do birthday parties, fairs, festivals. I did St. Jude. I did it all. And then I started playing with a cover band in the Arklamas area, which is like Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi. And eventually decided, you know what, if I'm really going to do this thing, I need to be in Nashville. And so I ended up buying myself a Flagstaff bumper pull camper trailer. I hauled the thing to Nashville, and I lived in it for the first 3 years I was there.
Wow.
And yeah, I've been at this. I've been in Nashville for 12 years now, but I've really been working on this since I was 9 years old, and I turned 31 a couple weeks ago. So I love it. I can't imagine my life without it. Um, it's just, everybody's got their own story. Turns out mine has a lot to do with time. And I truly do believe that, it was all about timing for me.
How does time sit for you? When you sit, you're present to it all. Is it that sort of how far you've come when you sit and you watch it as it is today? Like what does time mean for you?
For me, I think, of course, when I moved to Nashville, I was 19 and I wanted a record deal. I wanted to be playing sold out shows. I thought I was ready. But the truth is, I had not lived enough life to tell the kind of stories that I was supposed to tell. And I think I realized that pretty quick. I had been there about 2 years and I thought, all right, this ain't going to go the way that I thought it was going to go. But I know for a fact that I'm not going home. And so I had this mentality of, you know, no plan B. I felt like if I had a plan B, then plan A was not going to work. So I had to figure it out. I was not going back home to Louisiana to help my daddy farm.
Mhm.
I had just made up my mind. Um, but I do believe, for the little boys and girls who are tuned in to my journey, I'm hoping that I can be that person that, they're like, well, this didn't just happen overnight for her. Some folks it does happen that way, but for me, it has been brick by brick. It's been about building that foundation, starting from scratch. And looking back on it now, I am grateful that it has taken me this long. There has definitely been times where I should have packed up my camper trailer and moved back to the house, but I just didn't. I just knew that my time was coming, just trusting and believing.
Yeah, and the best part about that is that it's also possible that the best time is still coming, right? Like this isn't the finish
That's
line.
right.
Like that's the cool way to look at it, is that
It's
that
wild.
it crosses over. I want to just acknowledge one thing. There's an awful lot of people that I've met in the performance world that, they get that TV show and then the music really takes off. But
Mhm.
for you, it didn't really happen that way. I mean,
Yep.
your Academy of Country Music nominations and awards started before Yellowstone. And then at the same time, there was a bunch of it. And then since then, of course, you won some more because you've had quite the run of awards the last couple of years. But the cool part is the music did hit first, right? You didn't get
Yep.
that free TV pass, if you will. So
No.
you like you said, brick by brick. That really sits with me. That's I think we can all learn from that, whether it's a hobby or career or love affair. We can take that, we can put it into our favorite human beings, our relationships. I mean, brick by brick
Mhm.
is, I mean, that's a country song.
That's it.
And
I'm writing it today.
nice. And but Yellowstone didn't happen. It wasn't your
Mm-mm.
free pass. So it must is it does that make it extra special that you still did start to get the success and growth in music first?
That does mean a lot to me because I'll tell you, songwriting is my number one love. Before I am anything, I am a songwriter. I'm a storyteller, and I'm very thankful that I got to lead with that foot. I feel like I got to introduce myself to a lot of people through that, and um, Yellowstone definitely helped. I guess put a face to a name. I think that it really helped connect those dots. But I'll tell you what, I don't want anybody thinking that I just showed up and something happened for me overnight. That is not what I want. I come from a bunch of hardworking folks. My daddy is a farmer, my mom was a teacher. They showed me what hard work is all about. They taught me how to pull up my bootstraps when times get tough. And I compare the music business to farming a whole lot. I mean, you get up every day, um, you do the same thing. You have good years, you have bad years. A tornado could roll through and blow it all away, but at the end of the day, if it's in your heart and in your soul and what you love, then you just get up and you do the damn thing. And that has been my mentality, and that's going to be my mentality forever. And just like you said, I mean, this is the beginning, and that's hard to wrap my head around because
Yeah.
I'm like, we're just getting started. Oh my gosh, I'm tired.
Mhm. That's beautiful. Yeah, and you have to wrestle a couple of bulls along the way. I mean, you can apply that to music and farming.
That's right.
Because there's a couple of people in the music business that you probably have to wrestle and get them out of your way too. So
You do.
this is right. This is so true. Lainey Wilson is here now. If you don't know Lainey's music, country music, and the season 5 in Yellowstone, the character of Abby, there's a really great phrase that I've really become present to from a few years ago in my life, and then more recently, it's come back again. And it's this statement. It's I thought I was late, but it turns out I'm right on time.
Wow.
And that to me is an incredibly important piece, I think, for all of us. How does
Hmm.
that feel for you?
It made my heart just kind of do a weird little pitter patter, if I'm being honest, because that is exactly how I feel. I feel like what I do musically is what I've always done. Um, I sing just how I talk, and it's country. But for country music, I do feel like, things kind of come in, they're popular for a minute, and they kind of go out. But when I moved to town in 2011, I do exactly what I do now. Of course, I've grown and I've gotten better, and I'm a better songwriter and a better singer and a better storyteller. Um, but I knew that there was gonna be a window, there was gonna be a time, when what I do is cool, and I truly do believe that Yellowstone had a lot to do with that, making the Western way of life cool again, making that country way of life cool again. In my opinion, it should have never not been cool,
Yeah.
but, I do believe that timing it's very, very important, and for me, the stars could not have aligned any better. I've been hanging on for dear life for years, hoping and praying that that my time would come, and it couldn't have been better timing.
So when you go and you look back at Lainey, who is learning how to hitch up a trailer with safety chains and all the things, I mean, sure, on the farm you've done it before, but when it's your trailer and you're towing it to a different city, that's different. That's a different experience. There's a different level of panic that goes on of, oh my God, did I forget something? So
Oh yeah.
that Lainey back there, hands are dirty, knees are probably metaphorically scraped, hooking
Mm,
up that trailer, excited, probably a little terrified, a whole
oof.
lot of naive.
Hmm.
What do you say to that Lainey today?
I say, don't do it. No, I'm just playing.
I love it.
I'd say, you don't know what you're getting yourself into, but that's kind of the beauty of all of it. That naive part is really the most beautiful part.
Isn't it?
If I'd have known that it was going to be as difficult and hard as it has been, like I don't know if I would have went into it with the attitude that I did. I would tell that little girl, I'd say, it's going to be the hardest thing you've ever done, but it's also going to be the most rewarding thing you've ever done. I would say be kind, because at the end of the day, you can go play music for people. You can sit in their offices and pull out your guitar and sing them the song you wrote. But at the end of the day, they probably are not going to remember your song, but they're going to remember the way that you made them feel.
Absolutely.
And that is something that I have led by, and I would remind her of that. I'd remind her that people are going to come in your life and go, but um, you know, that's life, and sometimes you got to get rid of the weeds in order to grow. And I would say work hard, don't worry about what everybody's doing on either side of you. Find whatever it is that you're good at and lean into it as much as you possibly can.
If I came up to you while you were hooking up that trailer and he said, hey, by the way, this is all the pain and all the heartache. This is all of the struggle, the screw ups, the failures, the embarrassment, the shame, and all the things that you're going to put on yourself that you probably don't even deserve.
Hmm.
But by the way, this is the outcome. Here's the snapshot 2023. Would you do it on
You're gonna make
purpose?
me you're gonna make me cry.
Mm-hmm.
um whew, man, I would do it all over again. I would. Um because the way that I'm feeling right now is I truly do feel like I have a story to tell, and I'm excited to share that story. And I do feel like I've got some big shoes to fill. I feel like it's a big responsibility for me to be a role model. I got a lot of little eyes looking at me right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I want them to know that, if you want something in life, then you go get it. You roll your sleeves up and you go get the thing. But also, um, there's so many pieces to the puzzle, and I feel like I'm right in the thick of learning it right now. Um, I'm learning, all right, like you're going to have a lot of people's opinions. A lot of people are going to start coming out of the woodworks and start trying to act like they need to have a say in what you do or
Mm-hmm.
what you say. And the truth is, I do feel like I have my feet planted firmly on the ground. And I've got a lot of people in my life who remind me who I am and where I come from. And I want to be able to do this and be nothing but myself, because I can't imagine waking up 30 years from now and being successful, but knowing that I did it by pretending that I'm something that I'm not. And
Oh,
so It feels good. I feel like I'm in a really good space right now, but it hadn't always been this way.
Integrity's a beast, huh?
Oh my gosh, it is. You're
Mhm.
right.
So, for our Yellowstone fans, I have to serve them. And I would love to keep the philosophy conversation going because that's where my heart truly lives. But we have to give something to our Yellowstone fans that know you from Yellowstone and the character of Abby. Tell me something about Yellowstone that you probably shouldn't tell us that's very special for you that you loved about it.
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, the first day of set, my very first scene on the show was with Beth, Kelly Riley, and I thought for sure she was gonna put me in a headlock. I was like, she's gonna whoop my butt. I know it. But turns out, you know what? She was one of the sweetest people I've ever met. I mean, she made me bath salts. She
Really?
was she encouraged me, she lifted me up. I even did tell her, I said, I'm not gonna lie, I thought you're gonna whoop up on me there for a minute. She was like, you know, she's British. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. I did not know that.
She is British. And so with my accent and her accent, we needed a dang translator, but it was awesome. I mean, the entire cast and crew, just good people, good hardworking folks that love their job, and I got to be pretty much side stage and watch and learn from them. I mean, this was my first rodeo. I told you I impersonated Hannah Montana growing up, but I never had, I never actually had to like learn a script.
Mhm.
And so it was a big learning curve for me, but um it was great because they were fans of my music. I was fans of them, and we pretty much just got to geek out over each other, and we're family now.
That's beautiful. It's so exciting, actually. So, when you started to really get recognition, "Things a Man Ought to Know" was really sort of the song that kicked it all off. Um, so, for all the gentlemen that are listening, um, well, let me tell you one of my belief pieces that I think is so incredibly important. I subscribe to the notion that when men learn how to speak to men, that's when we change our relationships with women, children, and the world. And so it's an
Wow.
incredibly important thing that we do every day. So it makes me very curious to hear from Lainey Wilson. What's a thing that a man should, you could pinch your own lyric if you like, but what's a thing a man should probably know?
Put the toilet lid down, take out the trash. No, I'm just playing. When we sat down to write this song, I wrote it with two full grown men, and I was joking with them, and I said, "Y'all better cancel your plans because we're gonna be here all night talking about the things a man ought to know." But the truth is, I mean, this song is about having good character. It's about treating people the way that you want to be treated. And I think my parents did a good job at making sure I knew how to treat people, but also knowing how I should be treated. And I've definitely fallen short on both sides of that, not knowing what I deserve and vice versa. So that's what it's about. It's just about being a good person. And that's not something that just a man ought to know. It's something that we all need to know. So, the first verse of the entire song is talking about hooking a trailer on a hitch um, and all those things that like my parents taught me growing up. But the truth is, you can YouTube all that stuff. That's not what this song is about.
Mhm. It's beautiful. I love it. Lainey Wilson. So Luke Combs opening and on tour, and then of course your own shows and much more to come for that. How cool is Canada? Come on, tell us.
I love Canada, and y'all have got some rednecks. Let me tell you, I fit right in.
Yeah, that's so
I
good.
fit right in.
We have a variety of rednecks. I'm in
I see
Calgary,
that.
right? So you're going to be here shortly, and there's there's a variety of kinds of redneck here, which is really cool. That must remind you a lot of the South because there's a variety of rednecks in the South too.
Oh my gosh, I've learned that y'all really just love having a good time. Um, like y'all love some beer, y'all like having a good. I mean, it's just I feel right at home, and I love that y'all love country music just as much as I do. It's pretty cool.
Congratulations on all of the hard work and how it's unfolded. And I'm excited to see our next conversation where we get to look back at this and say, um, we've come so far. Look how we've
That's right.
succeeded. And we were just getting started. So I look forward to that one next time we
Me
get to
too.
chat.
Me too. I feel like I've learned a lot from you just in 30
Oh,
minutes.
that's very nice. Thank you for sharing your heart with us today.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, bud.
Shane Hewitt.